good?
I don't know. I think about because I don't weigh the final gravity of it. I don't really know. I'm guessing 5.
I got a plumbing final today.
That's almost all right.
I got.
So you can put your fixtures and everything back.
Yeah, he just skimmed through.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm on his good side.
Yeah.
But he talked to me about his hot tub.
Be careful of
Names.
issues.
I don't say anything.
Okay,
What?
because we are alive.
Oh. Like protect myself or you?
Both. What's that?
I don't know.
Crux fermentation stuff. That's a bend.
Yeah.
It's bend beer.
Crux?
Yeah.
Did you
That's the crux of things.
do you buy your liquor at Eggers?
What?
Seems
the
like
hell?
Eggers?
Eggers has a liquor
Yeah.
store.
No.
Oh, why not?
Because I buy it at the grocery store.
That's on Perry.
Which is also a liquor store.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you got to support the little guys.
small guy.
My grocery store is
I
sold
love
locally.
Super One.
though.
That's my new grocery store, and I don't even live on the South Hill.
Because you keep running into new people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I look for his car every time.
And he just talks to people. He
Actually,
spends, like,
if
hours
I
in the
drive
fucking
by and
grocery
I
store.
see his car there, I'm gonna pull in. I'm just gonna do some shopping.
Yeah.
And I don't even.
My car?
Yeah. I
We
can
never
shop
talk
every
at the
day.
grocery store.
No, I'm
I
looking
shop
for
every
you.
day too.
Do you?
Because you aisle dodge. You see somebody and
He's
you'll just
probably
turn.
there. I look
No.
for that. Do you drive a different car every time?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I have multitude. Have you looked at
The
my garage?
RV,
Yeah,
the-
yeah. The RV.
Yeah.
My wife's
Hey,
car.
Michelle, I need your car
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah. I think Jack might be following me, honey.
Uh-huh.
Car.
Uh-huh.
Before we begin, let's do some proper sponsor thanks. We here at the Packfiller endorse products and service that we believe in. If we talk about it, we've used it and continue to use it. All links are available at packfiller.com, and I'm not going to lie, we get some financial support when you click those links. So there we go. Gooder Sunglasses, people. Big things coming from Gooder Sunglasses, people. Big things coming from my friends at our friends at Gooder Sunglasses, people. First and foremost, well, I will preview it now. This is the Packfiller Summer of Gooder. That's what we're officially calling it.
Sounds
Summer
good.
of
I
Gooder.
like that.
We've got a
Sounds really good.
three month deal with Gooder, and we're going to have a discount code all summer long for 15% for everybody can use, and we're going to have some giveaways and all that kind of stuff. Thanks to our friends at Gooder. So there's my teaser. Yeah. We're, in fact, it is June. So should I kick it off? No, that wasn't official. It wasn't very official, but I said June, July, and August. So I don't know. I'm in charge of this.
Cue up some,
it's up
when
to
you
you.
go to do it, cue up some music.
I'll do
Make it
something
dramatic,
bigger.
You know,
Let's
not
do it next
Panda
week.
Watch. Don't
Yeah,
do that one.
not Panda Watch.
Yeah.
Well, and then all I got left, or be like, no, that doesn't work.
No,
Yeah, that's creepy. Super creepy.
that's it.
That's it.
That's a Panda
The
Watch.
Heroitrics. No, that wasn't.
It's similar.
I got. Oh, wait.
Phil Collins.
There you go. That's it.
That last one was kind of gooder, funk.
Yeah.
Because they're a funky company.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
really are.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that
I
next
need
week.
some glasses for my vacation to give away to random
Random kids.
Yeah.
I like that. If you give away the fucking hat I gave you, I'm gonna piss.
No, I
You're gonna
won't give
piss
you
me
that
off
one.
because that
I'll
was an
give away the
expensive
other
hat.
one. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, the Wrap G's of the bomb, you guys. Full design, brilliant lens, fully polarized, anti-fog, non-slip, all for just $45. Look brilliant without spending stupid money. Let's make cycling affordable. Again, Gooder is leading that charge. Okay, next one. How's your back? How's your knees? How's your hips? How's your junk? If you have any sore spots, you shouldn't. Get to ambassadorcycling.com today and start the conversation with Sam to get your bike properly fitted. You could very well be faster from the change. No, really. Next one, Athletic Brewing, folks. I personally want to thank Athletic for my conversion to actually getting in some form of cycling shape. I've tricked myself into losing weight by substituting Athletic into my beer enjoyment schedule. That's what I call it now. It's my beer enjoyment schedule. So check them out for sure. All kinds of different flavors constantly coming out. Lastly, Scratch Labs. Clean, great tasting fuel for the ride. And I just bought, and I haven't tried it yet, a lime raspberry. I think it's
Raspberry
limeade with a little shot of caffeine in it. It's good shit. Check them out at scratchlabs.com. There we go. Shall we do this? Oh, yeah, we should. I should hit the theme.
Sorry if I smell tonight.
As opposed to...
Any other night.
Yeah, he does kind of smell like a Mexican zoo in July.
Oh, I thought you were going to be on.
No.
No, he's just a zoo.
Zoo.
At least your shirt's cool.
I know. I wore it all day. Concrete.
That's the smell.
You wore that to do concrete.
Yeah, I need a couple more.
The lie in the concrete's wearing holes in it.
It's gonna be my new work shirt.
Fucking quit. Well, this is weird, you guys. It is the in-between times. You know, the Giro is over, the tour hasn't started yet, and Primoz Roglic still has the rubber side down. That's why we're here. We're a Life on Two Wheels. We're the Packfiller. I'm Pat Bulger, and welcome to the Rim Break Bar. And fuck, that theme's loud. Speaking of the bar, we're going to have a solemn send-off shortly for a good friend of the studio at today's show, the beer fridge.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a camera.
It's rough.
The beer fridge.
But one of the cameras is sitting on it.
Yeah. The beer fridge is dying. Yeah, the camera that is focused on me is sitting on it right now, and the beer fridge has been leaking. I think the beer fridge is kind of mirroring what life is like.
Yeah.
You know, your fluids start to drain out of you arbitrarily. You don't know what the fuck's going on.
I know that. Jeez.
It's making more noise than it should be.
Yeah, I know that
Sometimes
too.
it just shuts down for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
And it's got a whole bunch of lines and marks and beauty all over it. And
You can't duplicate that.
No.
No.
Maybe you could skin it and wrap your new fridge in it.
okay, Hannibal Lecter.
I mean,
I just recently finished drilling the 3 tap heads into the front
that's
of it.
why.
No, it has no Freon in the door. It's all foam. It's old school. You can't drill new refrigerators anymore.
They're the cool.
Yeah, they have the
cool
coolant all
panels
over
and
it.
all
So
that,
yeah, and it's old school, and so the fridge is
Looks like from 1980.
it's
Sad.
at least
It's
that.
a pretty old
Did
fridge.
you grow,
If you
you
open
grew
the
up
front
with that
do-
fridge?
No, it was from a relative, and they brought it to us, and we were like,
No,
thanks. And then I tried to sell it in a garage sale for $35, and nobody bought it. And then I brought it back in and plugged it in, and it works fine. And it just it worked for so long as our
Yeah,
beer
it's-
fridge.
It's still
So
working.
now I don't know what to do. I'm a little sad.
Hospice. It's
We have a dump.
I
You just take it there.
But I have such an emotional attachment to
actually
it.
it costs
The
a
Uribe
lot to
thing-
get rid of
Yeah.
the fridge.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah,
fuck.
like
toxic
$400.
waste,
Bucks.
yeah.
I think it's $400.
Should I just go take it up to the grocery store and put it next to their dumpster?
Yeah, you just
4 or
take
5
it off a
High
high
drive.
drive and just
Yeah,
push it down.
Pick the nicest house on High Drive and go straight up.
The Uribe logo is a magnet, so that's
Oh,
good. That
nice.
comes
and,
off.
And the patch.
The patch.
Ah, the Ska Brewing. That's going to
yeah,
go.
Scott Brewing's gonna go. Beep beep motherfucker from
Heat gun.
Amanda
you could
Batty.
probably- You could heat gun all that off.
The USCF Junior National Points Series patch. I can take that off.
The
but-
Weed California.
The Weed California sticker. Yeah, right. But people don't really know what we're looking at.
This is
because they
like
don't
an
have a
RV.
camera on it.
This
Well,
is
we're
like an
trying to
RV.
help them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got years and years of life. Like the Norba sticker. There's
You're not going to get one of those.
no Ford Gorge Games doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, your
telling
old
you.
band.
Pat's Treehouse,
Mhm.
name of my band. Yeah, and I didn't name it that, by the way.
Do you
I'm
have
not
any
that
more of those
fucking vain.
stickers?
No. That's it.
So
Devastating.
here's a suggestion, and I know you have all kinds of time on your hands. Summer's coming up.
I think I'm gonna get into house flipping.
Yeah. That seems to turn out
Don't
pretty
do
good.
that.
Yeah.
Get yourself a board of some kind, something you want an everlasting memory of that, and sit here with a heat gun and peel
That's
and stick. Peel
Not
and
gonna
stick.
fucking happen. The Yankee sticker is from our trip to New York. Yeah.
See, you're just gonna throw away all that shit.
Yeah.
The best team in baseball right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known. I just bought it because I was in New York.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I think-
Growler guys doesn't exist anymore.
No,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not here.
not on the
Not
south
locally.
side.
No. locally.
Oh,
I don't know if they have it on the north side.
So there we go. You guys were hilarious. I posted that tonight's show we were going to be the end of the beer fridge, and honestly, the memes were hilarious of
I didn't
grown men
contribute.
crying.
I did not.
You didn't.
contribute.
You were too
I just said
emotional.
fuck.
I could tell.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
that
could
was
tell.
Fuck.
So let's get to the introductions. When I introduce you, please respond with the actor you would choose to play you if there was ever a movie about your life.
I got a
Have we
great
done
one.
this one? I don't
Perfect.
think we've done
No,
this one.
no.
All right. So first of all, he's the guy who really won't care if the beer fridge is dead because he brings his own beer and he doesn't drink from cold glasses. Mr. Paul Maine. How are you, man?
Yeah.
I gotta
so-
get a shelf to hold the glasses now. Most pubs don't chill their glasses, so I guess I'd be okay with like a cool metal shelf.
Yeah.
Well, those are cool, but I think a shelf.
Why
with,
don't
like,
we have a
10,
beer
12
club?
glasses.
A mug club.
Because there are only 4 of us.
So.
Oh,
And you
each
always
of us
have a-
brings a fun one for the other one to try.
Yeah, wait till I get to
But
your introduction.
I like
Jake.
that idea.
Yeah, that's
Paul,
a great
who
idea.
would play you in a movie?
I'm gonna
Well,
spin-
if
spin
he's
one.
he's dead, unfortunately.
Oh,
Gary Shandling. He cracked me
I
up.
didn't,
I
know,
thought.
I didn't know he was dead.
Yeah.
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 Gary Shandling would play
Yeah.
you. Last time I saw him in a movie, he said Hell Hydra.
Hell
he,
Hydra.
he was in one of the Marvel
Captain
movies.
America
Yeah,
movie.
he's in one of the Marvel movies. Yeah.
I
So he
love the
must have
show.
died.
And
Gary
what was,
Shandling would play you.
Yeah. What
Why
was
did
it?
you
Larry
choose him?
Sandler's show? Did you ever
Larry
watch that?
Sanders Show. Yeah.
Oh man, that
Yeah,
Great
he,
show.
So he is really funny. You're
Yeah,
right.
it was.
Why would he
cracked
play
me
you? Why do you choose him?
He's
Because I want somebody to look at me and think that I've got this quality of humor.
But he smiles all the time.
Yeah, he
you,
does.
you smile all the time. He
Yeah.
smiles all the time.
Well,
Just
thank you.
smiled.
Yeah,
I don't
help
think he
me out
smiles
there.
anymore. Unless he,
No, he doesn't.
Unless he's in his
They might have
grave.
buried him that
Wow,
way.
that's
with a
that's
smile
really
on his face.
Oh.
fucking morbid.
Couple
Jack.
toothpicks.
Or his flesh is probably gone, so all you
Yeah,
see is
he's
teeth
over
anyway.
it.
So.
Yeah.
Teeth are
Smiling for
forever.
eternity.
Yeah.
Yep.
They just peeled his teeth back. Next, he's the guy who likely will care the most about the death of the beer fridge because he drinks all my beer.
Yep.
Mr. Jack Broadhead, how are you, man?
Great.
I bust your balls, but
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
okay. Who would play you in the movie?
Absolutely. Nicolas Cage in Raising Arizona.
Oh, sweet! I can see
Okay,
that.
so we are jumping time.
So
Okay,
I-
but we
I
picked
just-
a dead guy and we picked a Nick Cage when he was
Yeah. Just because he's
Really?
just so fucking by the seat of his pants the entire movie. Oh, okay, let's just steal some babies. And
Yeah.
let's rob a fucking store. And that
Yeah.
doesn't work out. I mean, it's not that I'm not actually doing a parallel to my life. I'm just saying that's how it feels today.
You fly in the seat of your pants
Fuck,
from you.
yes. Yes.
Gotcha.
All right.
Well done.
Yeah. Third, he's the guy who probably is a bit meh about the whole thing with the beer fridge, although we just did, and he's drinking the homemade cider,
I
but
know.
if he's going to refill his glass, it's going to take him 15 minutes because I overpressurized the cider. Mr. Jackson Bulger, how are you, man?
Doing well, thanks.
Before I get any farther, do we want to make your announcement, or should
Yeah.
we just shut the fuck up?
no.
It's kind of a wait.
It is a big deal.
Sort of a
Yeah.
big deal. Yeah. That sounds so militant, though. I mean, it sounds like
Okay,
so
let me find
like a
something
military
happier.
band
Well,
or
what's
something.
happier?
How about
Slow
some?
jam?
I mean, I know you have some
Here we
Phil
go.
Collins and some.
Because this is his wedding night.
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
just
let it out! Oh, Jesus! I'm so stupid.
Lay it to us, Jackson. Tell us the news, Jackson.
If you were wondering, over the last week, I got engaged.
Yep.
Yeah, to my...
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
sick. You're sick.
Dude, my
Yeah.
baby's all grown up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know.
Right on.
Long time girlfriend.
Yes, we've
Yeah.
been together.
Like 6, 8 years.
Yeah, coming up in November, it'll be 7.
Nice.
So,
Yeah. We never mention her name on the show just because.
Yeah. Witness
She
protection.
didn't want to be associated
Yeah,
with this.
exactly. Just in case she needs to bail,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah.
But dude, yeah, it was. I was at the after party where we came in, and the whole family was there, and it was really cool.
Yeah. So now listeners will no longer be hearing girlfriend; they'll be hearing fiance.
Fiance,
My
and then it'll be
fiancé.
fiance, it'll be wife, and then it'll be wife.
Yeah.
Can't get a new bike. Why? Wife.
Live.
I actually, my
Kidding.
wife is promoting a new bike, so
Shit.
and a Sprinter van. So I got the best
Holy
wife.
Wow.
shit.
Hey,
Yeah.
she's-
Life's getting
she's
good
all
for Jack.
in.
She's already cashed in that house.
Yeah.
2 houses, and I haven't even started the
Yeah.
next one.
Jackson, who would play you in your movie?
I'm gonna say not that I'm as beautiful as this person, but probably Ryan Gosling.
Nice choice.
Yeah. the subtlety, but also
Very
the humor.
nice choice. Very nice choice. Me, I'm gonna miss the fridge. I'm gonna miss the stickers, but I'm not gonna miss
That noise?
that sound.
It's comforting.
Yeah, it puts me to sleep.
There used to be, when I first started doing the show down here with that beer fridge, I used to unplug it because I didn't want that sound bleeding through into the show. I was that anal retentive, thinking, oh, the listeners are going to say I can hear your fridge in the background.
And then you let me on the show, which
Then, yeah,
totally
went to shit. And you
totally trumps the
put your
fridge.
nuts
Yeah.
on the bar and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Pat Bulger, and I honestly, I'm just going with what?
Walter
You
Matthau.
Fuck you.
Every time.
Fuck you.
Kevin Kline?
The younger Kevin Kline.
okay.
Yeah, I was going to go with Kevin Kline. I get that a lot. I get that a
yeah,
lot.
yeah,
I get that a lot. Yeah.
Yep.
Ken.
Ken's fish. I also get Will Ferrell, and I don't want that one. I don't
Why
like Will
not?
Ferrell.
You don't
Will
like
Ferrell.
Will Ferrell?
I love Will Ferrell. He's just goofy.
You don't like because you can't grow a
His hair's not curly enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say an afro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jufro. Isn't that what they call it?
I
I've
have
heard,
no
I've
idea.
heard Jewish people call it a Jufro.
Are you
Huh.
Jewish?
No,
You can't call it that.
I can't call it that.
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
So can I?
Nope.
If I have curly hair and I have a Catholic fro, can people
Yeah,
not call
Cafro.
it that? But you
can
can't
call
call
it
it that.
Catholic.
But people can't call it that because they're not. If they're not
No,
Catholic.
but you're Catholic.
Really?
So that's all cool.
Wow.
Hmm?
I'm just learning something here.
Yeah.
This is an interesting.
Jack makes the rules.
I
That's
was
what I've
born.
been-
I was born a Mormon, and so I'd have a mofro,
Oh, I like that.
and I'm a Jack
But-
Mormon.
Are you a Jack Mormon?
Yeah, I told.
And
him,
you went to a Catholic
fuck,
school.
Yeah, I'm like fuck you in about first grade.
Uh-huh.
I ain't going there anymore.
Hey everybody, how's the riding been going?
Sorry, I've opened.
Who's been riding? Who's been? Paul rode today. He's got
Yeah.
the sunburn lines to show it, and I'm
asshole.
pissed at you for
Yeah.
doing so. How's your cycling life been?
Well, I had
7 days.
this weekend. It was pretty shit weather, so
It was terrible.
I still hopped on the rollers between. I had my 40-year plus one more year reunion, high school reunion, and we, small little farm town, and we got in the back of a truck and when it was pissing rain.
Mm.
I thought, well, if I'm wet, I might as well just get on my bike and ride. But
Yeah.
I was far from my bike, so
Yeah.
came home, dried out, and hopped on the bike for a half hour. And then today, just did the Troika loop. It was like 56 miles.
That's good though. That's good.
But no, I need more. I need speed work because we got a crit coming,
We do, but not
and there's
for a while.
two of them on that weekend.
Oh,
What's the other one?
I can't remember what it's called.
Same area.
what?
In Vancouver. So you better get
Fucking don't
start-
have a chance.
There
ride
are
with the
two?
old people.
So there's just Saturday and a Sunday.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yes, sir.
Wow. It's like the good old days in one weekend.
Yeah, that's
Paul,
what it used to be.
inquiring minds want to know, what are you doing next weekend?
I have. Well, it is Father's Day.
Here it comes.
And my daughter-in-law just graduated from school. This class, it was a trade class, and we're celebrating her graduation on the 19th. So
That's during that like long ass terrible ride.
stupid, yeah.
Yep.
It's not. We're not doing the long.
Oh,
ass
you're not
one.
doing the 100.
We're doing the 100.
Or
That's
100
long
or
ass.
20 or, yeah.
But not long as stupid.
The chafy.
Sigh. Okay, fine. Jack, have you
What?
touched a bicycle in the last 7 days?
Let's see. What day is it?
Wait, you were here last
What
week.
day
Were you
is
here
it?
last week? No, you weren't.
No.
Have you touched the
No, I
bike
was
in the
here.
last 14 days?
Was I here? I was here.
You were not.
Last week you were.
Oh, you
Because we talked about I won't be there because I'm getting engaged. I remember talking about that, and you were saying congratulations. Not to make it
Oh,
about
yeah.
me.
Yeah,
but
I can't remember last
It's
week.
back
But-
to Jackson. Fucking kids these days.
I know.
I know.
I honestly can't remember if I got on the. If it was one day, but on the trainer. But I don't think I can't remember.
Has Argon contacted you yet?
So I did contact the dealer, and
he's in Florida.
No,
and
not this
he's
time. No, he was
now
in
asking
you
to call his
Honduras.
accountant.
He was in
And you're
Honduras last
fucked.
time.
Honduras.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
it was a
that's-
letter from Nigeria, and the Prince of Nigeria. if I invest in Argon 18, they
Yeah,
will send me
yeah.
a bike.
Right
Yeah.
on. That's why they sponsored Astana for a
Yeah.
while, because that entire team is corrupt.
Yep. So I checked in with him last week. He said that he hadn't heard back. He'll try Monday and let me know. Monday was yesterday, so I hadn't heard yet.
And then he said, have you tried
Not yet.
turning it
No, he
on and
hasn't.
off again? And
Yeah, wait 10 seconds.
please give me your password and all that shit. Okay. Good luck with that, man.
Yep.
You're so screwed.
I am
Jackson, how's your cycling life
Checking
been?
my
You
email
had a
right now.
busy fucking week last week. First of all, I love you. And please don't take this as condescending, even though it is. You're adorable. You celebrate a week birthday for your girlfriend, fiance.
Yes.
It's like she gets the whole week.
That's what girls do, and he is accommodating.
And I also do the same thing.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. How many times a year do you get a birthday? One.
So you celebrate it 7 days long?
Might as well.
It's a day, birthday.
It's
Day.
it's in the title.
Yeah.
Or in the word.
I do half birthdays.
I don't even care. I'm done. I'm
I
over
care.
it.
I want
I'm over it.
something.
I love to be grumpy about birthdays. Obviously,
What do you mean
I'm making
grumpy?
fun of you two.
Why grumpy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meh.
When you're this age.
Yeah. We also
another year
So actually, sorry to interrupt, but when you're this age and you can see the next category and you're the young guy in that next 55 or 52, that's when you want.
Yeah.
That's when you like your birthday, but not and for any other reason. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Hey, sweet. I'm a category older to the state championships.
Yep.
Nice.
Like Paul here.
Yeah, I'll be
So anyway, Jackson had a super busy week.
Yeah, so I rode on Monday last week, and then I happily took the week off. I've been riding myself pretty hard, and so I celebrated a 21st birthday of one of our friends on Wednesday, and then Thursday was a in-between rest day for celebrations, and then Friday was the big day, was her birthday and everything, and then Saturday was another like big kind of celebratory day. And then Sunday, I went to the gym with my fiance. So that was kind of what I did, which does contribute to cycling in a way.
Sure.
And then yesterday, it's Monday. I'm not going to work out on a Monday, but I will race tomorrow, and then ride Thursday. So
But it's the birthday week. What are you doing?
Birthday week's over.
No,
it was
no,
last week.
no. Was her birthday week starting on Friday? On her birthday?
No, the whole week. We celebrated the whole week.
What day do you start? Before the birthday?
Like Monday. You start Monday.
Monday through
That's
Sunday.
not even the birthday. You didn't even make it to your birthday yet.
No,
You
the
start-
birthday
you should
was
start
last week.
Friday.
The birthday was on Friday
on
of last
Friday.
week.
Yeah, so it should go to this Friday.
Oh my God. So you start on the birthday and go the rest
Yeah,
whole
you
week?
can't start before the birthday. That's like
Well,
being
no. You
celebrating
see,
the birth before the
these are
birth.
his rules,
yeah.
not yours, Jack.
It's like opening presents on
I was
Christmas
about to
Eve,
say, do you
Jack.
celebrate Christmas Eve?
But not a week before.
Do you
Oh,
celebrate
it's
The
Christmas
day
Christmas week.
before? This
But-
is a birthday.
Whatever. Grumpy old man.
Yeah. God, it's just
I
fun
rode-
time. I didn't know it.
No,
Realize.
I'm trying to figure out the rules here because if we're gonna have a birthday week, when does it start?
I rode on Wednesday, and I went out to the Wednesday night mountain bike race, and I got there, and I'm a person for others, so here I'm thinking to myself, hey, Eric, my buddy, who's the timer there, who he and I put on the 24-hour race together. I said, Eric, I know you want me to announce the random drawings and stuff like that, so can you let me go out early? And he's like, yeah. So here's the deal. Because the race is either a mass start or a start early option. Everybody gets the option to do one or the other. And sometimes I think the mass start is a faster race. But anyway, I went early, and about 3 minutes into my race, the skies decided to take a gigantic piss. And I was in a wall of water. I have not been that wet in a long time. It was just complete mud, water, filth, everything for and I upgraded to 2 laps. I'm doing 2 laps now, and because I'm an idiot. But it was so horrible, but at least the water was warm.
Was it like Dirty Kansas?
Yeah.
Unbound.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that.
Just
here.
like it.
I'm going to get to that here shortly, that race. But it was I was disgusting. I was absolutely filthy. I got in my car, and I'm anal about my car, and I had to change out of my clothes because I didn't want people
but
to
you
see
took
me.
pictures first.
Did you ride
did,
home?
yeah.
Ride home naked?
No, my car was there.
I know. No, I'm sorry. In the car.
No, I brought a change of clothes. What
Oh.
do you think I am, an idiot?
Yeah.
So, but worse weather than the road race, than the River City, the RC3 road race, in my opinion, because it didn't stop the whole time. And RC3, at least, the rain stopped after a certain amount of time. So, it was that was the first ride, and the second ride I chased cartoons on RGT this weekend because I dropped the other brand. I dropped Swift. So what is speaking of bad weather, what is your guys' crap weather philosophy on training? Do you guys have, like, because we've had a horrible spring here, do you guys have a bare minimum of what you would do to go out? Like, it has to be this degrees, this chance of rain, blah. What do you guys do when it comes to weather like that, or fenders on your bike that, you know, on a entire bubble over your body, like like Jake Gyllenhaal in that bad movie?
All right. At least for me, if it's raining, I probably am not going to go out. If it's just like a ride, you know, I'm probably not going to go. I also think if it's below 45, I'm probably not going to ride either. And then if it's above, like, 90s is kind of a tough way to go. I think 95 and above, I might take a look at it, but that's if I'm not really that desperate to. If I'm kind of desperate to, then I'll see how far I can push it. I mean, you and I have seen 114 at one point.
Yeah.
So, but we had to do that.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, if it's a normal day, you wake up, you look outside. Three of us grew up in the years of there was really no indoor training option. You didn't get on a wind trainer back in the day, did you? I mean, I didn't get on that thing.
Like in December, maybe, like for a group. You know.
February was the last. I mean, the new year was kind of the end when you got off the trainer.
Yep.
And but do you guys have like, you look out the window and it's cloudy? What do you do? I mean, is there a temperature minimum? Maximum? Not maximum. Minimum.
When I was younger, there was no boundaries. I went out in all temperature. Whether I've ridden at 0 degrees, I ridden at 105 degrees.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Really?
Yeah. Rain, snow. I've ridden in snow.
But what is it now?
Now I'm older, and I might break a hip. And
yeah.
So, and it's hard for me to get motivated. I mean, before, when you're in your 20s and that's your goal, is to be the best you can be, and you're racing every weekend, you can't miss. I'd never missed a day. I mean, if it was a Monday and it was shit, then I would say that's fine. I could miss that day, but I will still, now the temperature, if it's raining above 50 degrees, I'll go out.
Okay.
Even at my
Am I the only one that still has that demon on the shoulder?
What's that demon?
Of a day off means the other people are catching up,
or ahead, one day ahead.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely true.
Okay. Do you still experience?
So I got a ride to experience.
No. I mean, you know what I mean. But those still in the back of your head.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I think temperature and precipitation really are a break.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to be 25 degrees out and dress accordingly and feel just fine and comfortable, even if it's something on your face.
Sure.
But as soon as you add rain to the factor, not at 25, but as soon as you add, 38 and raining, and you are soaked early, it limits the ride, or it can be I've been out too far and it's changed everything. You're soaked, you're done, you don't think you can make it home. Type of thing. I pissed myself.
Yeah, to keep you warm.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
We've never heard that one.
So I think that's the thing. I mean, you can a bike with fenders. There are so many days that were like 50 degrees, and or 45 and raining that should have been ride days, no matter what, because you have a bike with fenders dedicated and a bell.
No, it's just every time you say fenders.
We'll have to start drinking to that.
Oh, I got another thing to drink too.
What's that?
But go ahead. No.
You wait for it to happen.
I don't know. It's not appropriate right now.
I have found myself less tolerant of shit weather.
Yeah.
But I will, and I think part of it is because of the crux of being able to just hop on a trainer and chase cartoons. I know it's not the same, but I have found myself just going, oh well, I'll just hop on the trainer. We're good, and I can go out and do that. I'm looking at this weekend, for example. It's supposed to be thunderstorms on Saturday. Sunday's supposed to be like 30% chance of rain, and I'm thinking, well, I've got Jackson and I, apparently just Jackson and I. Fuck no, have the 100-miler in.
It's
10,
not this weekend.
It's next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Not this coming weekend.
It's not this upcoming.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
gotcha.
I need to probably get 60 miles in this weekend just to kind of feel good about myself. To go, okay, 60 feels all right. I can handle probably 100. At least 60. And I'm going, am I going to have to fucking do it on the trainer? And if so, I will.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten on the trainer since January.
My bike's on the trainer right now, upstairs.
Well, I've gotten to a point where it's like, I mean, as I've always mentioned every single year, after a while, I hate the trainer. Trainer's fun the first year when you get it, and then it sucks.
Satan's fucking...
Yeah.
Is it your race bike on the trainer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But I just get to a point where it's like, oh, if it's raining today, I'll just move it to another day. I force myself to find the time, and I think that's what's really been successful for me. That's different for others, obviously, but I just find that I get way more out of outdoor riding than I do indoor, just because I'm not trying hard inside. I'm just waiting for it to get over.
Really.
I agree.
Oh God, yeah.
See, I'll do the opposite. I'll do an interval workout inside.
See, I will. That's where I think I make my most fitness gains is outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of horrible weather, did anybody catch Unbound Gravel? Paul, you were saying you just caught highlights.
Yes, the Flow Bikes on YouTube had I think a 10-minute segment of highlights of it, and that was I'm not going to get that 10 minutes back, unfortunately.
Jack, no.
Highlights too,
Yeah.
and I follow a lot of people on Instagram that
Sure.
multiple pictures of just the horrid conditions, and yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Jackson,
I watched actually the Instagram page Pure Gravel has a really good coverage of it. They put pretty much the whole race on their Instagram story, and so I watched it through there. Yeah.
All 10 hours.
Well,
Yeah, seriously.
you and I talked about this.
Yeah.
And I watched the Flow Bike coverage because I canceled my subscription, but I've still got a little time left for the full year to end or something like that. And so I logged on and I watched. And I first of all want to, and I said this on the other show that I'm a part of, but I want to take a moment to say that Frankie Andreo and Janelle Spilker, who were the commentators, did an unbelievable job with what they were given. I'm not going to call out Flow Bikes. I'm not going to call out anything. I think this is still a brand new platform. But that being said, the coverage was absolute shit. I'm sure it was weather. I'm sure it was Wi-Fi signals. I'm sure it was camera difficulties. I'm sure it was all that kind of stuff. But there were maybe in the first 2/3 of the race, from what I watched, I didn't watch the whole thing, obviously, but from what I watched, there were moments of the race. Moments, maybe a minute, 2-minute segments at tops. The announcers, Frankie, Andreo, and Janelle, did not have the information. They didn't know who the riders were. They didn't know what mileage they were at. They didn't have any of that information, and they had to fill. They had to cover all these hours of time. And they did a brilliant job doing that, considering most of the footage was drone footage of the finish area, just a camera flying around. And they had to fill the rest of it. And I felt for them in that essence, in that situation, because, oh my God, what a horrible nightmare that would have had to have been to try and fill. Oh, I got 6 hours to cover, and we have no bike racing. Now, when Jackson, you tell me about the fact that you're watching a fucking Instagram account that knows who the riders are, yet nobody's going, hey, my Instagram says it's Explorer blah, 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 blah off the front. And nobody walks over to Frankie Andreo and says, dude, this is what Instagram's saying. Here's some information for you to deal with. Are you shitting me? That's leaving your talent out to dry, and I couldn't believe it. And I was really disappointed with that. And I felt horrible for the people involved. I feel horrible for Flow Bikes. I feel horrible for the commentators. Overall, in the end, it started to get better. Like the last 10 miles, we had coverage, but they still didn't know who won when they came across the line.
Well,
but
that they didn't even know who won.
yeah, they said it was too close to call. And everybody's covered in mud, so they didn't know. They didn't have numbers. Numbers are on the front of the bikes, not on the back of the bikes. Nobody's relaying information to them. So
Why watch?
Was it Sagan?
Yeah, no,
No, I wish.
So
He looked too clean.
I do want to say that Flow Bikes had multiple little segments. They had multiple mini stories to kind of provide, the up close and personal kind of stories to provide throughout the coverage, which is a good attempt to make the coverage better. Like we do see, in some of our road race situations where they'll go back and forth to rider commentary. I was blown away that I saw about 30 Little Caesars commercials for a paid subscription model.
Uh-huh.
If I were to continue paying for that subscription, I would be upset. Flow Bikes always does that. They have commercials just pop up randomly, and I can't believe that if I'm going to pay for a subscription, I still have to know that Little Caesars has more pepperoni.
Exists. Yeah.
But so okay, there I'm off that soapbox. But I do want to ask you guys about Paul. We talked about this before we went on air about gravel racing being a form of entertainment and a visual form of entertainment. What separates a gravel race from a really long, a Milan-San Remo type of a road race where it takes that long? It's cameras following bikes. What's the difference? You talked poorly about gravel racing.
Yeah. Well, I think that, the thing was like Milan-San Remo, I guess, would be the closest thing to the little bit that I saw. It is. It is boring. Milan-San Remo can be boring until they get to the hills. There's got to be a selective part of a race to make it interesting. So you get into the Capressa and the Poggio.
Yeah.
That's where everything happens. There's a breakaway. So, and this is my take, and I'm sure there's other things people will probably argue with me, but when I'm watching the highlight that Flow Bikes had, it's just a ribbon of road, and there's no selection. So, like in Paris-Roubaix, it's the cobbles. You see people getting into position because they're going to hit that. That's a selective part. There's going to be crashes. There's going to be flats. There's going to be incidents. This you're just watching. Oh, somebody got a flat.
Okay.
Oh, somebody attacks, and and it's just on the straight road. And there is some strategy behind it, I understand. But like in road racing, for me, you can watch the breakaway, and what team is. You try and figure out what team is doing what kind of strategy for those in the pack, that type of thing. But these are all individuals, although I'm sure they do work as team. There's people with alliances and stuff. I personally don't see, and maybe they'll change it. And I mentioned cross-country mountain biking in the early day was terrible for TV, and that's why they shortened down the track.
Oh, I don't want them to do that, though.
But they won't. I don't think they. I mean, that would ruin gravel, right?
It would. It would.
So
it would kill it. Yeah.
My take is, I love going to live baseball games. I like baseball.
Yeah.
But watching on TV, as much as I love baseball, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's not a TV thing. I'll do it for the playoffs in the World Series.
Yeah.
There's just some things that are just not TV worthy. And then I'll take it a little bit further. If this is not a TV, attract TV viewers, that nuance of all these sponsors going in there.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? The only people who are going to be viewing
Our bike racers.
Yeah.
Or gravel bikers.
And no one's on the side of the road.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like in Paris-Roubaix, there's just, 3 deep almost all the way, or Flanders, all these classics. And here's the premier...
Yeah, who's going to hang out?
The premier gravel bike race and gravel race, and there's nobody on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So...
I need to go straight to Jackson
Yeah.
now. I need to get your input because your focus has changed from gravel to road. I mean, obviously this year, but you have a perspective on gravel and how the sport's growing. Tell me what your thoughts on this, on the entertainment value, purpose of it, on what gravel can do to make it work.
I think that so let's say we have figured the coverage out completely,
Yeah.
It is the same amount of coverage as, let's say, a one-day classic. I don't know if I see a big difference between that and road racing besides surface. And I'll tell you why. Because first of all, when you think about, let's say, an Unbound, it's a lot of rolling hills, but it's not a lot of climbs. That sounds a lot like a sprinter stage to me.
Mm-hmm.
How much are you really going to watch of a sprinter stage if you're going to be honest about it? Not that much, except for the finish, which, if you think about it, that's kind of what Unbound is. There is also a selection. Why were there 3 people that finished and not a whole pack? So I think there's something out there that did cause that selection. Also, there were points where there were, these crashes that made the selection very specific, because that's why Lachlan Morton had to abandon, because he crashed so badly that his gearbox was blown.
Yeah.
And I also think, let's say a BWR, for instance, if you get the same amount of coverage,
there are selection points in Belgium.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's a climber's race.
Yeah.
And it, like, that last climb where you're getting 20+%, like, that makes like a strong selection. Mm-hmm. And I would really be excited to see they put a lot of production value into a gravel race, because if I think so, I think you're going to get more viewership. Like American gravel racing, I think you're going to get a lot more viewership than you would the European circuit, for instance, because I think the European circuit doesn't really matter. Like, nobody cares about it.
Yeah. It's still in its infancy over there, but which is funny because there's probably more gravel.
Yeah. But I also think I think gravel could be such a good business opportunity, because if they were to put all that money in it, think about how popular it is. Think about how, like, these people have just kind of created like a name for themselves off of social media. And if you're watching your favorite rider that you follow, like, their lives on social media, but you get to see them on the TV, I think that would be
you get to see it on the very device you follow them on.
Yeah. I think that would be so cool, especially because, like, at a when you go to a gravel race, it's not like a World Tour race. Like, you get to race the exact same course on the exact same time that these pros do. Like, that's super cool, because you can go up and approach them. At a World Tour race, you can't approach them.
Yeah.
And so if you get to approach them, then the next day you see that person out on course. That's way more personal than a World Tour race would be.
But do you think it's TV worthy?
I think it could be if the coverage was as good as a World Tour race, because it's
if you had helicopters and multiple drones and
motorbikes, all that stuff.
Because
I think it can make so much money, because these people right now are so popular, and also is a growing peloton. The winner of Unbound.
Yeah.
Did you think they were going? Nobody thought he was going to win.
The Dutch Mafia. Now speaking of. Yeah. And I also think one of our biggest restraints, and it needs to be fixed, is cameras just can't automatically send a signal. You need a wireless network strength signal. And we see it when we see riders in the Grand Tours going into the mountains, or not just the fog, just the distance away from a reputable cell tower where you can send a signal back to somebody. And in Kansas, you've got these miles and miles and miles of these roads in the little middle of nowhere, and you're not going to get a signal to be able to send back to a network hub. This is the geek in me talking. And add in the fact that this race this weekend had cloud coverage, which restricts things even more. You are automatically a recipe for disaster. And so there's got to be a method. I mean, and we see the same thing on a much smaller scale, and I'm not talking about the racing, I'm talking about the technology involved when it comes to some women's races, where you're seeing stuff where it's being sent via Twitter by somebody on their phone, and we don't get a good quality signal. And it's, unfortunately, this shit costs a lot of money. And as you said, Jackson, I think there's money in it.
They could make so much.
I turned it on at whatever time in the morning here, and I kept it on.
Mm-hmm.
It was on in my house while I was getting ready in the morning. My family came down, my in-laws and stuff like that came down, and they were just like going, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "I'm watching an insane mud death match." And they, occasionally they'd look at it and go, "Holy crap, that looks horrible." I'm like, "Yeah, it is," and that was, "Oh nope, Little Caesars has pepperoni."
It's not a lot different, and if you don't have passion for that discipline,
Sure,
then you are gonna, Paul's view and then Jackson's view are gonna be the opposite. If you are into triathlon, you will watch the entirety of Kona.
yeah.
If you're into an ultra, you will watch the entirety of Western States and or turn on the Boston Marathon for 2.5 hours, because that's what you're into. And I think with, Jackson had a great point about, a lot of sports you don't have the opportunity to be on the line or back, several rows from the pros that are going to win the race,
or start alongside them, and get
and,
dropped by them.
And that's going to create it's strange, but it's going to create an amazing rebirth of some cycling, some road cycling. There's a lot of crossover with gravel people, I want a fast bike for Saturday morning, and I spend the rest of the time, on my gravel bike or, long rides. And I think it's almost working backwards to getting cycling back to what it should be, because it's something so new and exciting. The coverage will help. It really will. But you got to have that understanding and passion for that group of people. And there's a lot of people that are pro Peloton worthy that are racing Unbound that just, they're doing it because there's something to be won. But then the rest of us are doing it because it's something to do.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge, and it's very, very much like ultra running, where it's just you against the clock. It really is.
Well, the TV coverage in Europe on these big long ones are airplanes, so they shoot from the motorcycle up. So there's where the expense comes into.
So much for us being an earth-friendly sport.
And that's been the discussion quite a bit. And then the caravan that follows.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to touch the point on selection, selectiveness of that race. I'm going to argue that there isn't sections of that race. It's an attrition race. So that's the selective part. So how is that appealing? And if you look at mountain bikes,
there were some moments that
there's some water
came into it.
And
things like
but
that.
I mean, you look at to me, even in mountain bikes, there is a rock garden or a jump, or there is selective parts of a mountain bike or a cyclocross, a dismount. There's always something. Yeah. But when you have a ribbon of road and the only thing is it's going from one type of gravel to another, that's the only time I can think there's really going to be a true selective part. Crosswinds could split, but I mean, as a general rule,
Kansas does blow.
Yes, as a general rule, the course itself doesn't lay. Now, when
figuratively speaking.
Yeah, but you talk about how hilly, BWR is. Now that's interesting. If there's a hill, then
but they need
that
a
would
camera.
be worthwhile.
They need a motorcycle on that hill to show
exactly
like Alpe d'Huez, where you.
Or you can have a fixed camera on that. And to me, I would be more likely to watch those races
on the guys
than Unbound. Unbound is not I just don't see it appealing.
Okay. Now I think we're getting into what it is. I will agree with you, Paul, in the fact that the essence of Unbound is attrition. Gravel racing, I can't wait. I wish, Paul, you could get a taste of what pure gravel racing is, because it's just, I mean, it's Paris-Roubaix, but you came with better tires for it.
Well, I mean,
it is gritty. It's gritty.
Its true essence.
Yeah,
and you're gritty.
And in a way,
it's a hard man sport.
Spokane River Roubaix, and I've done all those. Those are selective. Those were selective parts of a road race, and that is what made it interesting. But when you when you look at it, I think some of the things on the outsider is not something I'm interested in doing, but as an outsider, you have to do your own repairs and supply your own food. They have a couple of. I think that's interesting. I think that's a good positive thing.
See,
I think that's a positive
the element
thing.
I wouldn't think you would be.
No, and I like that because that involves
That creates
strategy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because fueling is everything in an endurance event, and if it's on your terms, you're not like being handed something by your team or getting a teammate to go get something. You're on your own. You could bonk at 60, 70 miles or
like you
survive.
did.
Yeah.
No, it really and when you're not being taken,
I was in a bad place.
when you're not being taken care of, that does get interesting at the front. We would never really see, the middle of the pack bonking.
Yeah.
You just don't. That's not the coverage you want to see. You want to see, because we see it at the front of the tour. That somebody's going backwards. Why are they going backwards? Well, they had a bad day. Well, they happen to be wearing the yellow jersey.
I mean, there were some elements of Unbound that blew me away. Like the leaders are coming into the final stretch. It was cone lined, and it was no wider than a good bike path.
Oh,
and there were people finishing the 100 who were not paying attention to the fact that former World Tour pros are coming up on their ass. And like maybe 300 meters to go when the sprint started, people were they're having to weave around other riders. And you know what? Jackson, as you said, I love the fact that you can approach or you can start a race with these people. However,
we did it.
We
started with, at here at Washington Trust.
Yeah.
Started against.
But you were Cat 2.
But still, that same thing could happen.
But you're not catching the Cat 5s right before your sprint finish.
And you try to avoid that.
That freaked me out.
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be a way to remedy that.
It's tough because then you move into a UCI sanctioned
you do.
event.
You start cutting shit off.
Then it makes it, you don't get to access the pros. You don't get to do all these things. And I think that these people that enter the events know that this is what they're getting into. And that's why I don't think any of them came out to complain about that. Yeah. Because that ultimately is what you're going to get when you enter a mass start event.
Yeah.
And they all know that. Entering this.
They must know the risks involved with something like that happening. Some events do have split finishes for
that's what I was thinking.
This sort of straggler. You'll see that at Boston. You'll see the finish line for whomever, and then
he's talking running again.
Yes. I know. I'm so sorry. It's just a slower pace.
Yeah.
Anyway, but maybe something like that needs to happen where there'd have to be better control with 2K to go, 3K to go, where it's like, okay,
send certain finishers
you
this
have
way.
to stay to the right,
or a 100-miler finish. Hey, the 100-milers come over here.
Yep.
The 200-milers come over here.
You take a right
with 1K out, or you're on. I'm sure Emporia would give them 2 lanes of a road.
It'll
when
there's an accident.
Hey, you guys on the
right
right lane, you guys on the left lane.
When there's an accident, that's when that will happen. That will change.
And I hope, as Jackson, as you say, I hope they keep it accessible. I hope they keep it where the average Joe gets to start with Peter Sagan. Or
and I do too.
Stettner,
I think that's the uniqueness of it. I hope it doesn't turn into a UCI thing.
It was really good. So there we go. That was a good discussion, you guys. I feel purged. Who's watching the Dauphiné?
Me.
Mm-hmm. Jack? No. Okay. So let's
soon. I will.
That's okay.
Is it going right now?
It started 2 days ago.
3
days
days. Do you have Peacock?
Who's winning?
Do you have Peacock?
I do.
Well, Wout had the yellow jersey.
He had a bad day, didn't he?
Yeah.
I heard that. I heard
and then he cocked it up. He did.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. So let's start with the obvious. The return of Jumbo Visma. Finally seeing Jumbo Visma at the on the podium of things. It was like we started off just like bam, 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 bam. We got hit with them so hard, and then all of a sudden now we're like they were gone for a while. It's like
because they're gearing up to win the tour.
Yep,
they are. There's
some. We'll talk about that yet. But anyway, can opinion time? Can Wout van Aert make it through the week in yellow? The other show I'm on, Feed Zone, from our friends at Cycling legends. We had Gary Fairley, who said that he thinks Wout van Aert could probably win this thing. No, okay, no, Paul.
That's
Jackson?
not their intentions.
Yeah, I agree with Paul that I think that he will enter that time when they enter the Alps, and he'll probably become a super domestique.
Okay.
However, what's crazy about him is I think that there is a chance in the world that he could.
Yeah.
Because he's the type of rider.
There's always a chance.
Because he's the type of rider that can give an insane effort up a climb and then blow off and then somehow catch back up to that front group. That's what I think is going to happen.
That's cross racing too. That's like recovery. He's the best recovering cyclist.
Yeah.
You know,
Who's not the size of Matthew Van Der Poel. Yeah.
Well, the only thing I think that would be cool, and I like that idea that Jackson was saying, but I know he's focusing on the green jersey, so hill work that's not going to benefit him. I mean, the things that he's putting his efforts in is into sprints so far, you know, but I think he's going to turn into a super domestique. So
other riders we've noticed that I've noticed, and you guys can chime in. Theo Gegenhardt looked extremely strong today. Froome is there to potentially crush the demons in the back of his mind, and he's almost to the pointy end of the peloton. Jonas Vingegaard is riding extremely well. I don't want to say Primož Roglic's name because I personally think he's going to win this, and then he's going to have a shitty tour. But if I say that, that means it's going to happen, and then I just said it, so he's fucked. So tell me about some surprises you guys might have seen, some hopes you might have seen so far, and how you think this weighs upon the big dog heading in the distance, the Tour de France, and where you think these contenders are going. I was looking around, and I'm not seeing a single event with Tadej Pogačar in it.
Yeah, he did the Tour of Slovenia, which was a really interesting thing that he chose.
That's like me doing the tour of Pat's backyard.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, it makes everybody go, how good is he? It makes him unknown, which I think for Tadej Pogačar,
good point,
is dangerous because he's already on good form. Imagine not being able to keep track of him. Yeah. That'd be tough. I think that, what is it? Yeah. Not Ajay Duzer, but FDJ. Thank you.
Francis Duzer.
Yeah, they are getting involved, which is really good to see because usually they're just in the race and never to do anything. Especially with Lagac yesterday, almost taking the sprint, and then Gaudu today. It's good to see them back. I don't think Thibaut Pinot's gonna really win anything, but it's going to be interesting because I think this is the first year that solely and primarily the entire pressure is going to be on Jumbo-Visma because as we're seeing through the Dauphiné, I think they're taking up pretty much everything. And then lastly, I think that Bike Exchange needs to stop going in on Dylan Groenewegen. They got to stop because every single time they're
holy shit, that guy climbs worse than I do.
He is
nobody
is
does.
A rock.
Nobody does. But
he will... They'll send the whole team back, and then they'll lose 5 minutes because they did that. They got to stop with that because they got to find a lighter sprinter. Not to say that he's like, I'm not saying Dylan Groenewegen is fat, but he's just so...
He just can't climb.
Yeah, he just cannot climb at all.
Yeah.
So I feel for the guy, especially coming back into it, you know.
Okay. Does anybody have a overall pick for... it's late. We're already into the race. An overall pick for the end of this one?
I think Roglic will win. Yeah.
Roglic.
Yeah, I think so.
Roglic, yeah. Unless...
They could have Jonas Vingegaard.
Yeah.
They got 3.
I did notice the amount of things about the sprinters. Jackson, you were saying, Dylan Groenewegen is fast in 200 meters, but he can't get to the final 200 meters. Wout is, can we all agree, probably the undisputed favorite for green in Paris at the end of July. Peter Sagan played in the mud in Unbound Gravel. God, is this going to be horrible to say? I almost feel bad that I'm even bothering saying his name anymore. Yeah. Are we looking at Peter Sagan gravel racer?
No, I don't think so. I think we're looking at a year where he just needs to get back.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he'll win the green jersey again with the. I mean, if Vanderpool, Wout, all these different type of riders that can do it all. I mean, even Ethan Hayter. They said yesterday on the coverage that he deserves a Grand Tour. I couldn't agree more. Give him a Grand Tour. Let him see what he can do.
Yeah.
But I think that there are younger guys with different skill sets that can just. Because we've mentioned before, he's the first generation of what we're now seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wout and Vanderpool are riding like Sagan has ridden for a decade.
Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, they're younger, they're stronger, they're faster. It's just that's what happens, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that he will try his hardest, and that's all we can hope from a Peter Sagan.
So Wout, I'm assuming most everybody knows what happened to Wout today. Okay, so anyway, tonight's topic is brought to you by our friends at Fellow Products, the best source for the second most important beverage out there. That's right, coffee. From measuring and grinding to brewing and drinking, Fellow has it handled with the finest products out there, and I am a believer in it 100%. I personally use their travel mugs daily, as well as their brilliant pour-over system, including these incredible kettle options that actually my wife approves to sit on the counter 24/7, and my wife is a decorating lunatic. Mine's black. So get to packfiller.com today. Click the link and find out how great your coffee can be. I want to talk about mistakes. I want to talk about fuck-ups. I want to talk about oopsies. Wout van Aert had the stage won today. His sprinting was timed a little bit off. I think it's like you saw that his final lead out guy just kind of going, I'm fucked, and Wout went a little early, but he had maybe a half a wheel length probably with the final 20-30 meters remaining. Wout took his hands off the bars. Got to lunge his bike.
Didn't Vanderpool do the same?
Alaphilippe did. Eric Zabel's done it, and I bet everybody in this room has done something close to that, maybe if not that. But anyway, we all saw that happen. Well, it's a brain fart. It's and that's what happens, and then the rest is history. He looked over one shoulder. He didn't look over the other shoulder. I'm sure we have excuses until the day is long. What does this show us? That we are all occasional dipshits. We all make mistakes. So here we're going to share our screw-ups and hopefully learn something along the way. So let's talk about times that we have messed up. Hopefully Jackson will have less stories because he's younger in life.
He's better than us.
If he can say, I can beat that, a lot of times we might have to check Jackson's life choices and maybe his parental guidance along the process. So so I want to talk. I'm breaking it into specific categories, and hopefully you guys can recall. Jack's lost because he's never done anything wrong.
Bullshit.
He wrote an Allsop. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I can just stop right there.
Because I was going to start with tactical mistakes that you made in a race. For example, me, I remember one year I was flying this year. I raced. It was a long time ago, right? Racing a crit, I lapped the field with one other guy. I got cocky. I got really cocky in it, and I thought I had this guy crushed. I didn't think about the fact that he was going to use one of his teammates who we lapped, who took a flyer in the last moments and basically
let him out.
Wow. And he beat me in the race, and I was furious about it. Yeah. So, and I thought, this shouldn't be allowed. We shouldn't be able to tow off of people. But it was tactical brilliance, and I fucked up.
Is that a Rainbow Schwinn dude?
No, it was after that. Yeah.
It's not mentioned.
Paul Nelson.
Paul Nelson?
Paul Nelson was the guy who beat me in that race. Yeah. It was my fault. No offense, nothing against Paul.
No.
Paul rode a smart race.
He's a clever guy.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure we can all come up with some kind of a tactical, oops, fuck, that was my fault moments. Does anybody have one? So we can share with the listener. Jackson might not have as many.
Yeah.
But
I have one.
Jackson's never done anything wrong.
I haven't had enough road racing.
Sure.
I had a situation where there was a breakaway, and then there was another chase group that got thin, and there was this gap, and we just weren't closing it. And I'm thinking, somebody's going to have to put some effort. There's, how you got some people who are like, you're not putting in any effort.
Yeah.
But you look at their faces, and they may be right on the edge. It's just right at pinnacle part of the race, So I just thought, okay, situation's good for me because it's fairly flat crosswind, and I took over and I just laid it down longer than I should on a pole. And as soon as I hooked up, I said, "You can thank me," and somebody attacked.
Oh shit!
And I got dropped.
Ego.
Such a neat. Yeah, I thought it was just going to settle down because we really chased, but the guys that weren't working really hard were really, sucking wheel.
Yeah.
They got me.
They were fucking.
Yeah, they're pretending. Yeah, well,
assholes.
Fair play. Yeah, I hated that.
Jack's actually taking notes.
You had something similar?
No.
You're not that dumb.
I've been dumb.
You got any tactical fuck ups?
I dropped a couple. Yeah, I mentioned it. I got a couple. Are we going around the room a couple times?
We don't have to. I mean, if somebody has a great story, they can raise their hands. If not, I'm gonna jump to different categories.
Okay.
Of fuck-ups.
I mean, I think in a earlier podcast I mentioned removing booties on the last stage of a long ass road race where there's probably like a handful of us left, and I got dropped. I got so.
It hurt, didn't it?
It still hurts like so many years later.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and
you were there too.
I had cured myself of that until we rode that finishing straight or that area, and I'm like,
hit you.
I almost fell off my bike in tears. So I do have a pretty good one. Canadian Cup, White Rock Crit. I jumped 3 corners to go, and I eased up with 10 meters to the line, and Alex Stita beat me. I got second.
Was this Gastown?
Yep. No, it was white. Oh, then that's the other one. I got to write that down. Gastown.
You're writing it down for.
So I remember it in a minute.
Say it now.
So yeah, I got second to Alex, which I felt very like, oh, I got second to Alex Stita, but I did have that one. Mm-hmm. I probably went too early. I probably saw it. The line is a slightly downhill finish. Like, who's going to catch you on a slightly downhill finish? And
Alex did.
He was 5 miles per hour faster.
Didn't he have the yellow jersey in?
Something like that
for half a day.
Yeah, something like that.
Half a day.
Gastown, I showed up a day late.
What?
Oh, that's a tactical fuck up.
So apparently.
Wait,
that's
what?
a Jack move right there.
Yeah. Well, I was going up there alone. I was riding with grannies, and they'd all like headed off to nationals, and I was flying to nationals after Gastown, and I showed up on what I thought.
You're flying after Gastown.
Right after, I was going to get on a plane and fly to nationals in Utah or Provo or something or wherever, Park City, and I apparently Canadian Day can be on a Monday or no, I thought it was on a Monday, but it's always on a Sunday, something like that. So I showed up a day late. That's it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really vacant. Like, cars were parked on the course. There were no more ribbons or hay bales.
So life.
The day before.
Yeah. Wow.
That was the day after.
That would kill me. That would absolutely. That's a great.
It broke me.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've ridden.
It's a
Gastown in the pros,
course.
but Yeah.
Jackson, you're learning from these experiences.
Don't do this.
Listening for
Well, the internet. We didn't have the internet. Yeah. That's why I showed up.
Yeah.
In the wrong day.
How about mechanical fuck ups? For example, I'll give you one right now. I glued a tire on the night prior to a crit, and I rolled a tire and got glue all over Roger's car.
Roger's story.
Another one, I remember we drove to Seattle for Friday night velodrome racing, and I left my cycling shoes at home.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad told me,
You're
we drove all this
racing
way,
anyway?
you're racing. And I raced.
And your trainers.
Yeah. And by the way,
You won.
I've still never lost a race. Because I haven't raced the velodrome since I was like 15.
Yeah.
So the record still holds. How about a mechanical fuck up? Just raise your hand and go if you got one. Jackson's got one.
Yeah, well, BWR was a rough.
Oh, that was
go.
a bad one. Yeah.
So I didn't have my bike for that whole summer. So I was mainly riding my BMC, which is a very different bike.
Yeah.
Mind you, my my bomb track is pretty easy. It's a comfortable bike. At no point did I ever have comfort issues, but not riding that bike as much was bad.
Yeah.
And then I also didn't have my final 2 gears. My 2 easiest gears I did not have for that race. And so
We could have stopped and
so that
fixed
20% grade felt really good.
it. We
Yeah.
could have stopped and fixed it.
man, I
And at
don't
no point, why didn't we just get off and go
get
like,
out,
let's
get
just
out your
fix this?
phone and just.
well
you know?
just
No,
because
it's a screwdriver.
Oh.
It wasn't electronic
Yeah,
shifting.
no.
It was cable driven.
Yeah.
Get your phone.
well I was at that
Google. Yeah.
well when it really started affecting me was that double peak where you
Yeah.
are doing 20+% and then you realize, oh, like I have to push as hard as I can after 130 miles
Yeah.
or after 120 some miles, and it's like I couldn't use my hands. I couldn't even think to
Yeah.
do that. All I could think about was riding as hard as I could at that point.
That is a key moment about this whole thing. Is sometimes your brain farts are just a matter of fact that you're exhausted. You have no mental capacity beyond pedal,
Yeah.
pedal. Right, left, left. Oh shit, or something like that. Anybody else pull them?
Yeah.
Well,
I
Jack,
have some-
Jack, the whole
yeah,
soft ride
he
thing.
keeps riding.
I'm not. No, I'm not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, soft.
ride.
I have something
Right.
close to the tubular thing. It was just a local race, and my tires needed to be replaced. I actually glued it. Like I had 24 hours, but usually you need to give. There's a good way, but I wanted to race, and I was on a solo break.
So you just air them up a little more. I
Nah,
remember doing that.
nah.
I remember just throwing. I'll put 110 in, and it'll stay on.
Yeah, mine was. I had, I wanted to. I was on this break. I'm nailing corners. I've got everything, and everything's fine. And I pedaled, and I caught a pedal, and I launched. When I came down, I rolled both my tubulars at the same time.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, I hit with major force. I mean, I was like in the air going, "This is." I knew even if they stayed on, I was going down because I was launched. But that's one of those, and I'm trying. There was another one that was in mind, but I'll take over just in case it comes back. So go ahead, Jack.
Mechanical issues,
Yeah.
Jack? You ever had one?
I've never rolled a tire in my life.
Really?
Never. I've as a young junior.
Because
I've
we were
had
sponsored
Clement.
Because we
all
were
over.
sponsored by Barham as kids.
Yeah.
And those Barham
couldn't get
tires,
'em
you
on.
needed.
You
Oh
couldn't even-
my
you had to
god!
take 'em to the
it was-
truck shop to
Yeah,
get 'em
exactly.
put
to
on.
get 'em
Use
pulled on.
scissors to cut them off.
Yeah, Czechoslovakian tires. They
Yeah.
were just
Yeah.
like, you will not.
They
get
weren't
these on."
terrible.
They were.
weren't
They were
terrible.
great tires,
Yeah.
but getting them on.
So I was lucky enough to Kirk Willett and I had our bike stolen at World's Trials Camp as juniors. That last year as a junior.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
have
don't
a
remember
bike.
that. Why don't I remember that?
We were still there with Scott, 711 rider. There's like 3 of us
Oh,
left.
McKinley.
Yeah. So we all got our bikes stolen. They were inside the compound.
Wow.
They found his hanging by the fence, but Kirk's and mine were gone.
Oh shit!
So we ordered.
Why
new
steal
bikes.
Kirk's bike? I mean,
Yeah,
unless
I
you
know.
got a
Who
little
can ride
kid
that?
who can
Well,
ride.
yeah. I mean,
Kirk's about 4 foot.
it's
Yeah.
like a pedal
Rides
bike.
a 48.
Yeah.
Push bike or something. So
A Strider.
yeah, a Strider. Yeah. Sorry, Kirk.
Sorry to the Heights Challenge riders out
So
there.
we
who think
we
we're
ordered
being
new
assholes.
bikes. I failed to order pedals for my new bike. It arrived in Casper. You were driving
Yeah.
apparently my girlfriend to Casper.
Yeah, who told me
And-
she'd help driving until she told me she couldn't
She
drive
was
at
like-
night.
Yeah, and I
Did you dump her?
so
Did he? I
Oh,
don't
was
know.
it?
I
It's
should have.
yours? Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have.
I should have just
Can't
said,
drive at
"Hey,
night?
just
See ya.
because of that,
you got to go to the
Yeah.
bathroom. We'll stop at this gas station."
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah. I
Vanity.
should've.
You should have. Anyway, I forgot to order pedals. I got the bike built on a Motel 6 bed, and I showed up to the first stage, and I borrowed pedals from Daryl Price's Plymouth.
Yeah.
I went to, who was the
Plymouth
old guy?
Reebok.
Who was the old guy that ran that team? Like a bald old guy?
Yeah.
He actually, off of Daryl's spare bike, pulled some pedals, some look pedals for me.
That's nice.
Yeah. That's
So your tactical
my
mistake was
tactical
not getting
mistake
pedals.
was not well.
Mechanical.
I mean, your
That's
mechanical mistake was not.
Yeah,
getting
not
pedals.
ordering pedals. Yeah.
Social or emotional? I will go first because I just give you guys good examples for this. For example, I have been known to shout obscenities in the middle of a downtown crit. I think I was yelling at Mike Meyerly to fuck off in
We
the
all
middle
did.
of a downtown crit, you know, in city.
Was that the one at
children
Tri-Cities?
there? Yeah.
No?
Mhm.
Yeah, and Paul Dalka, who is now like a monk, told me to shut the fuck up. I've got
Legitimate monk.
yeah,
Is he really?
Yes.
legit. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I've gotten into a screaming match with my sister after a race. That was an emotional or socially awkward moment. And finally, most recently, I raced the RC3 road race, which was a social, emotional mistake on my part. I shouldn't have fucking raced that thing. It set me back probably 2 years emotionally. Who has a social or emotional fuck up that you've done in a race? Anybody who wants to raise their hand and just go. Jackson's gonna go like, no, I'm good, man. I haven't fucked anything up.
I mean, I've always tried to.
Where the emotions get out of control, get charging you.
I mean, I've noticed recently that I race with a lot of emotion, but I also keep it in. I try to keep it in check the best I can. I mean, like I said, when we were at RC3, I got into something a little bit just because it was like I wasn't gonna let somebody.
You said the F word as you crossed the line.
I did. Well, yeah, it was that. I mean,
It was
frustration.
cramping.
Yeah,
It's huge.
yeah.
It was cramping.
But I heard it.
But also it was, it wasn't really like an emotional like mess up. You know, it was more of just like I wasn't gonna let somebody just be annoying or like
Yeah.
just kind of like sit on. You know, I was gonna kind of call them out,
You're
and
the
that's
patron,
yeah.
patron of the peloton.
I mean, and that was what I was kind of being in that moment, just because I don't like when people try and race off of somebody else. When
Yeah.
somebody goes, oh, I don't have it, man. It's like, I'm not gonna let you do that.
Yeah.
So that's where I step in. It doesn't really have an answer to the question. But.
Well, no, that's yeah. I've let my inner asshole come out a little bit too much on some of those moments too. Where I'm just
Your
like,
colon?
no. I'm gonna just start calling it my colon. out.
Let
You
my
know
colon
what?
come out.
Colon's coming out. Colin? Yeah, Colin. I'm gonna
Colin.
call it Colin. Colin is my alter ego. We're
Yeah.
gonna just
Right.
call it my
Colin.
Colin. My Colin's gonna come out, and I'm gonna yell at somebody in a four-man.
But you
bunch.
didn't in the crit, and somebody overlapped your wheel 2 times, and you didn't even
And
say
I
a word.
said
Why
it
not?
before, and I'll say it again. That's because I've been spending time on my gravel bike and my mountain bike, and I have never felt more comfortable in groups bumping, moving my bike around than I have. I honestly think that those skills have developed, even though
Oh, I
you
would
know,
agree.
Yeah, people were bumping me, and I was like, "Whoop!" You know, and the guys were behind me were yelling, and I was just like,
Odd with a,
"Fuck you! I'm good."
So
it's
what?
odd with a lack of racing though that would be.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah.
think that would be the opposite.
Yeah,
right
I
now,
I felt fine.
So what would warrant this colon
The
to
colon
come out?
in point.
I'm passive aggressive. I
Really?
just shut the door down.
Oh, I just go.
Yeah.
And if they point at me and
Inside,
they look at
it's
me,
like,
they
no,
look at
you
me,
don't.
I'll just go, "Fuck you," and I'll say that out loud.
But
Or-
you can go ahead and try and sweep my wheel.
Yeah.
I won't say shit, but if you try and
You're going down with
yeah,
or last year we had one of the TNTs where a guy was following a random car way too closely, and Colin came out, and I was going, "From him, you're ruining it for the rest of us." I mean, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Is that my responsibility? No. But does it just take over? And yeah, that's where it takes over. So those are my social flaws, my social fuck ups. And I probably a year ago, I'm not going to apologize to the dude I yelled at, but I probably shouldn't yell in the first place. So those are some of my fuck ups. How about mid race or mid training ride fuck ups? For example, fueling, being underdressed, being overdressed. I started RC3 overdressed, and I do that all the time now. I'm terrified of being too cold. So I'm in the middle of RC3 trying to shed a rain jacket, and I honestly looked like I was having some sort of a moment because I couldn't get the
Having a
jacket
fit?
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get the jacket off, and it probably cost me, another 45 seconds getting dropped. And I do that. That's just what I do. I want to start warm. I hate being had to learn the hard way about how your body.
Because I have, now my
Really?
but a lot, and it's funny because a lot of the times I'm getting to a point where now I know when I need to, and so that notification doesn't matter anymore. I don't even need it because I've
Really?
already eaten. I've already caught up on it.
Well, you know what? And I'm not going to. And those people who are saying, oh my God, and you say you're watching the field. Have you seen like the sticker on Mathieu Van Der Poel's Paris-Roubaix where he had what K he's getting what? And he had to remind himself to do this kind of stuff. I'm terrible at it still. I've been fucking 30 years, and I'm still terrible at fueling.
Well, I think fueling is a personal thing too. Everybody burns differently.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do well with like.
It's the end of the world outside. There's a plane outside flying, and he's angry, and he's going to get the fucking Red Baron.
Yeah.
It's Snoopy and the Red Baron. Yeah. Anyway.
Kamikaze.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes. He just got shot down. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, I can go a long time without eating, but then it falls. I mean,
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's times where I've done 60-mile, 70-mile road races without eating, and
I
I'm
can
fine.
too. Yeah.
And then there's times where I'm like, man, I feel weak, and I know that it's
too
kind
late.
of random. Yeah. You're at that point, you're done.
Yeah.
Even on training rides. Yeah. Fueling is a hard thing for me to like nail down.
And it is the classic drink when you're not thirsty, eat when you're not hungry. And here I am this far into my life, and I still have a tough time eating when I'm not hungry.
I think
which is ironic because tonight I'm going to eat. I'm not hungry right now, but
you're eating
I'm
pizza.
going to go up and probably eat a burrito tonight.
No.
Yeah.
Like
we're going
Jackson
burritos
said,
tonight.
though, when you're doing a routine or you set yourself up, like next time you go to BWR or wherever, you're that experience will change how you do your next experience. Of course, we all have failed twice, 3 times, 100 times. Because
Three times the fuck up.
But like, I mean, people do go to the extreme of, Sharpie on the arm or a sticker on the stem because of that experience. You'll never want to do that again. Yeah. Because that's, so.
How about excuses? Anybody ever come up with an excuse before the end of the race just to cover your ass?
Isn't that what cycling is?
Well,
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, even if it's partially made up.
No, it's got to be like the end of the race. When you're failing, you just kind of
make all
fade and fail. I mean, I don't know.
RC3, I knew I was not going to have a good day. I knew my head was controlling that race. Now, if I was in perfect form and I was mentally, I still don't know if I would have.
Did you go to the front and go, see ya?
No, I should have. Just peace out.
Or like, what's that?
Nachos,
Nachos.
Yeah.
There's that park down there, and that's when Dave Nicholson was just like from the gun, took
amazing.
Off, and it's like, Miley chased to the point where he dropped. I mean, he had salt all over. He actually had to go to the hospital. It was a hot, like 90-degree day, and on the third lap of, I think we had supposed to do 5. Randy was on the feed zone at the top. He goes, hey, what the fuck happened? And then I said, well, I crashed last week and blah, blah. And he goes, oh, fuck. That's why I hate this sport. Everybody's got a freaking excuse.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right. There's no excuse. I got dropped. And he goes, how about say this next time? Yeah, I suck. And that's exactly what you do. You suck, man.
Maybe we should
and
just
I said,
do
you're
that
right.
more often.
Yeah. That was
good
my
advice.
lesson.
Have you ever been the victim of somebody else's bonehead move?
Oh.
Teammates, rivals, random people being jackasses. For example, the guy's coming into the final 200 meters of Unbound Gravel this weekend, having to figure out how to sprint around some random guy waving at his family. not that that's his
Yeah.
fault. He was focused on the fact that he just finished a 100-mile gravel race in horrific conditions. I can think of moments where I've had somebody, open a gap or crash. Heaven forbid, crash me out.
Always.
I was in the Manitou Park Criterium here, one of the last ones here. It's the criterium in a park just right by this house, and a certain ex-teammate of mine fucked up by not getting his pedal in, and he shoved somebody over in doing it, and he caused a gigantic gap in the race, and I never saw the front of the race again.
I guess now that I'm thinking about it, that I've told this story before, but that junior stage race, the crit, when I was just about to get back on, and then he took the corner so wide that I had nowhere else to go except right into river rocks.
Yeah,
at that point,
it was like falling on a cheese grater.
Yeah, and if he just didn't take the corner so wide, yeah.
Crits are there's like every crit there's an incident that it seems like. I downtown Criterium, there was a massive crash, and it was just somebody trying to shoot the gap, take the inside where there was no opening, and it just piled up. And one guy from Canada actually flew into, like, back when people read newspapers, they had this bolt down newspaper stand.
Oh my God!
He just flew right into it, and he cracked his ribs, collapsed his lung. It was bloody. I mean, it was people with bikes and everything were all over. And it was just from somebody just trying to shoot a gap, and it's like, this is not even there.
Yeah.
I'm behind it, and then I wasn't too bad, but it was just in the massive pile. So
I did that at Sandpoint as a senior, coming over from Seattle to Sandpoint.
Sure.
And last lap I actually took a line that was untakeable, and it was like second corner. So
do you know it's untakeable when you're taking it?
No.
Or do you just
you're
like
hoping something will change when you go in?
I think you just go expecting it to open.
Yeah, I think I was probably going from like 7th to
3rd.
second. And luckily I didn't take anybody else out, but I think I clipped a pedal, and I have stitches. I still have a scar on my tailbone from Bonner.
Drop trout and show us.
You want me to?
No.
Okay. I mean, it could.
Yeah.
No.
Lots of people have seen that scar.
Really?
Well,
I have a
Play the field.
doctors.
doctors. All right.
Let's get crazy.
Yeah. Another one was the race that he with his booty situation.
Gosh.
Yeah.
The very beginning of that race, it was cold.
Oh yeah, there's a big
and
crash.
pissed. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was right in front of him.
Yeah.
Is Martin Criminali.
Yep.
And he was getting a drink, and he missed his bottle case.
Oh, yeah,
looked
yeah,
over and went, boom. And there was it was piss and rain then.
Yeah, it was horrible.
And I was the first one in, and I went flying. I mean, I went flying big time. And the crash was like, I was where the pile of bikes. I was another like 10, 15 feet away from the pile.
Wow.
And I had a brand new Continental tubular in the competition. It was like $80 tire. It was sliced right in half. I hit his chain ring and just went boom. And just took off.
Anybody you've ever not forgiven or held a grudge against
No.
for a race fuck up? Or is it you've let it go?
Let it go.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a hard time
remember.
with an old junior teammate of mine who would intentionally attack me. You know who I'm talking
You need
about.
to let go.
Yeah. I
You need
can't.
some therapy.
No, that's why
the podcast.
that's
for.
why I turn these microphones on every Tuesday. Yeah.
It's a
yeah,
bourbon and-
Exactly.
Do you think he listens?
No.
No.
fuck
no.
no.
I'm still going to call his name. It's, slander. Fuckhead.
Yeah.
RP.
It was Jack Broadhead, wasn't it?
It was Jack Brown.
Yeah.
I don't think yeah.
All right, before we finish the show, and I was going to ask you guys to remind me, but I'm going to remind myself. We're going to go back to the world of pro cycling, and I printed
Oh,
you
I
guys
thought we were
out.
talking about the world of pro cycling.
Well, we are.
All of our experience.
All of
Yeah,
our
oh, yeah.
experiences.
Yeah, we were pretty darn close.
The Tour de Suisse is happening here starting on the 12th, which is this upcoming weekend. I do want to notice that still there's a very odd lineup of people in terms of definite, oh my God, this person's going to crush it. I actually think the Tour de Suisse might be very interesting.
it's not as star-filled as I thought it would be.
I mean, now the first name I'm going to throw out there, and I'm going to throw my 3 for the potential overall. I guess we could pick 3 now. Remco Evenepoel does he have this kind of a massive climbing event in him? I'm sure he's going to be the top of everybody's lists. Mikel Landa had a very good Giro. And can he ride continuing off of that? And third, I'm going to pick Geraint Thomas just because I want to say Geraint Thomas' one more time before I don't get to say his name anymore, unless he's a commentator or a podcast host, which he already
could
is.
definitely be a commentator, though. He's
Anywhere.
He got a great personality.
Great guy. Yeah. Those are my 3. Anybody else want to make commentary and make your picks at the same time?
So are we picking overall?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to mention some sprinters on the side, for example, I would love to see Alexander Kristoff do something. Peter Sagan is technically scheduled to start this fucking race. I can't believe it. And there we go.
That's why I didn't do much on the
No.
Unbound.
Yeah.
I think Remco is going to be Remco's one of my picks, but the Tour de Suisse is notoriously horrendous weather every year. It rains so much.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't think he will win, is because he always does really poorly in the cold weather. Was that Remco?
The technical stuff, dude.
Yeah. But who I do think will win is Alexander Vlasov.
Good choice.
Off of the coattails of my third and final pick, which will be Sergio Higuita. I think those two together, for some reason, like they could both be leaders, but they both work really well off one another. I forget which race it was earlier this year, but I think Vlasov took took the stage, and then Higuita took second on the stage.
Yeah.
And so I think those two together, they're on the same team.
Grossschartner's in there. That's a deep team. Bora Hansgrohe has made that change. They have switched.
Yeah. Definitely switch focuses.
Successfully, obviously.
I also think Alberto Bettiol, he raced really well at the beginning of the year, and I'm interested to see where he is now. I think he could take a stage, kind of a long range type of situation, but I'm excited to see him race, and I'm just excited to see the racing get closer to the Tour, because that's when it gets a little, you start to see more colors.
Can we all agree that EF's one of those teams you still root for, even though they probably just don't have it in the cards?
Yeah. I mean, okay. Nielsen Palace, he could win.
Yeah. Jack, Paul?
Ready?
I am.
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say Evenepoel before you do. So I don't care about him though. So Sepkus.
Whoa.
I mean, just because I think he's the one I picked as like, he's probably the guy. Sepkus and Pitcock would be mine. I think Pitcock's kind of gotten a little break lately. And
I didn't even see Sepkus's name down there.
Massive. I mean, he's been, he trained.
Sepkus could have a really good race.
It's a great race for him.
Yeah.
It's probably for him right now his Tour de France. I mean, being that he could win this race easily.
Dennis is there. Robert Hessink is there.
He's got great support.
team.
I mean, it really is. And that's Jumbo's a deep team, so they're a team that's got like potentially three leaders, 4 leaders. Kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Paul,
Evenepoel, of course.
Yeah.
He's a good one-day guy. He's proved
He just
that
needs
over
one
and over
good
again.
day.
1 week.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
1 week.
Yeah.
And then just to spite Jackson, Adam Yates. And
Simon and Adam?
I did have Geraint Thomas, but you picked him, so then I changed.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to go with Schachmann on this, just as an outside.
Yeah. Those are good.
You pick
picks.
him a lot. You
Yeah,
really
he's
want
German.
him to
So
win.
here I was saying that there wasn't a clearly defined winner, and we just picked a depth of winners, which means it could be a really exciting
Really
race.
is.
Yeah.
We're not going to go like, Tade's going to win the fucking Tour again, and
Well,
probably is, right? Yeah. Unless he's hiding and just sitting in a cave somewhere eating Twinkies.
the thing is that it would just make it closer. He'd still win.
Yeah.
I think he's a freak like that.
Yeah. No, it'll be a good tour, right? It'll be a good tour. That's what we're going to think of. That's what we're going to keep positive.
Well, I think if the 2 or 3 stars don't have a crash, it'll be an amazing tour.
Yeah.
Because I think Pogacar's like amazingly talented, but
We got cobbles, so
I just think that there's competition that could ruin it for him.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You know, I mean, it doesn't just take a Roglic. You know, somebody on Ineos who I don't even know who's riding for Ineos.
Well, that's our tour preview show. We'll
Okay,
get to
sorry,
the tour
I
preview.
won't
No, you're
skip
fine.
ahead.
You're fine.
And when the tour comes, you can go and look up. This is a good show, and it's called Plan B. It's on YouTube, and it's about Jumbo-Visma last year.
This is about pregnancy and shit.
Yeah, you would think.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the other thing that pops up.
Yeah. But Plan B, and it I just finished it. It's pretty good. And I forgot that Jumbo-Visma got a podium, and think about the stage wins that they got.
Yeah.
Sepp Kuss and 3 times with Wout, and they only had 4 guys. They crashed out. Tony Martin crashed
that's
out.
true.
Yeah, and Roglic
Opie
crashed out.
Omi.
And they did a heck of a job just scrapping what they
Yeah,
had.
Yeah.
So.
that's probably not allowed in certain states.
Plan B?
Scrapping?
Plan B.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there at the YouTube going, this is not what Paul
Yeah.
told me it was
What am I
be.
watching?
Make it
Oh my
stop.
God. They're showing how to do it.
Yeah.
There we go, you guys. That's how we're going to end this show. And that's, I hope you at home heard the beer fridge in the background because it's just going, don't forget me. I'm still here. I feel happy.
I feel like going for a walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, for now, the beer fridge, it's like it woke up. Yesterday, the beer was warm in it.
Guaranteed.
It was warm.
There'll be a gray alert on that fridge.
A what?
Somebody, he just referenced Alzheimer's going for a walk thing.
No, it was
it's
actually Monty Python.
Python and the Holy Grail.
Bring out your dead. Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Oh yes.
Yeah, there we go.
The plague.
Get out there, everybody. Rain or shine, ride with some friends. Like us, subscribe us, tell a friend. Rank us on YouTube, on iTunes, on YouTube. We are, to give us a thumbs up on there. Spotify and everywhere else you find podcasts. Am I forgetting anything, Jackson? You're my social.
It's all there.
All right, there we go. I guess that's it, gentlemen. Right?
Are you wearing
Good.
shorts
Thanks.
tonight?
There we go. What?
Are you wearing shorts tonight?
No, I'm wearing